Well, welcome back to daily driving of Fummins that I am still not daily driving because I'm still waiting on freaking machine shops. But I thought I'd make a quick video to show where I'm at and what I've done and what I'm waiting for. So as you can see, my Allison is installed, the torque converter is installed, and just waiting for the engine to be hooked up to it. I've got my transmission lines made. I think I've got everything done in the engine bay that I need done, including patching up the heater box that melted from my turbos with Bondo and putting more shielding on it. And I got my new hardwire PDM 25 installed, and I'm starting to run wires for that. So it's currently hooked up to my Allison TCM, and I've got reverse lights hooked up to it and a few other things. I got a little bit more to go, but I'm really focusing on just the absolute basics to get the truck back on the road, and then I'll finish everything else up. I also installed and have started to wire in a J1939 CAN bus network using a real hub instead of just a rat's nest, and I'm going to do my best to keep this area not a rat's nest this time. In fact, most of this wiring is going to go away as I wire everything into my PDM, because those relays there are for the trailer blinkers and brake light and whatnot. I'm going to power those from the PDM, so hopefully I can clean this up as I go. One little change I did make was I moved my batteries under here. I don't know if you can see them or not, but they're mounted to the frame, and that was a little bit of a interesting project. Those boxes are from a van, like an E350. I don't know, they were like $100 on eBay, so I did it. I also got new 19.5-inch Alcoa wheels, brand new tires, front and back. And this is all stuff I've done since I pulled the engine out, like last July. It's been just a nightmare waiting on machine shops to build my new engine. I step back here a little bit. You can see I did a 3-inch body lift. Really, it started with the Allison just not fitting well, and then it turns out that the 3-inch body lift is just like amazing. Like, it makes everything so much easier. I haven't done the box yet. I'm not really sure if I'm going to, because it'll mess with my hitch fifth wheel height, and I'm not sure I want to do that, so I might figure something else out. But that's neither here nor there for getting the truck back on the road. And this is the old engine that I blew up. I put it back together. Kind of a long story, but originally I intended to just buy a working engine and just put it in and get it machined for fire rings so I didn't blow another head gasket. And turns out, the long story short, I took it to the wrong machine shop because they completely disassembled the engine and just assumed I wanted them to rebuild it at the same time. So I ended up collecting all the pieces from the machine shop, and after 6 months, and telling them no, I didn't want them to build me a motor and charge me $10,000. I just wanted the machine work done. But they didn't do all the machine work, so I ended up taking the crankshaft and the rods and the pistons to another machine shop to get them balanced. And that guy was actually really good, and he got it done in a couple of weeks. And Then I needed the block. Since it was completely disassembled, I had to rebuild it. And if I was going to rebuild it, I was going to go all the way. So I bought a girdle and I bought ARP rod bolts. So I took my block and my rods to yet another machine shop who was supposed to have them done at the beginning of June, and it is now July. So I don't know when I'm getting them back at this point. But at the first machine shop, when they went to machine my head for the fire rings, this was the head that came on the engine I bought, not the original head off of my old engine. And they said it had 18 cracked valve seats and 2 of them weren't repairable. So I pulled the head off of this engine and took it to them, and it had 16 cracked valve seats, but they were all repairable. So they installed 24 hardened valve seats and machined it for the fire ring. And so it's sitting over here. And they did a pretty nice job rebuilding it. They painted it. They got it all put back together. And it is nicely machined for the fire ring. That's half in the head and half in the block in this case. But the block is still at the machine shop getting line board, so I can't assemble my new engine. And I've got pieces of it laying everywhere. I've got my pistons are on the floor over there, and they need cleaned up. And I've got all the way over here my crankshaft that is balanced to, I think he said 0.2 grams of rotational force at 4,000 RPM or something like that. I got the sheet on it, I could look, but it should be nice and smooth. All my rods and pistons were balanced to within 0.1 gram of each other, which is pretty awesome. I've got my turbos just sitting here, and the wiring harness that needs re-cleaned up sitting here. And then over here, I have a semi-clean room that I installed plastic on. I've got lights in here. And this is where I'll actually assemble my new engine. So I just have all the pieces for my new engine cleaned up and sitting in here so they don't collect too much stuff. So I cleaned everything up fairly well. I've got boxes of bolts. I believe these are for the oil pan, maybe. I'll figure that out. And then that's my Hazley gasket with the fire rings. And I'm using custom aged, I think they're 260,000 PSI head studs, which are going to be torqued to 150 PSI. So I think between that and that fire ringed head gasket, I should be safe to make 500 horsepower without blowing another head gasket. Fingers crossed. I cleaned up all the bracketry and I painted it. I used POR 15 and then black enamel engine paint. And I've got my new front cover. I've got all my gaskets, gasket sealer. I think these are push rods, and then new bearings. And I have no idea what's in this one. Total seal piston rings. What's in here? New block heater. And up here I've got my valve cover and my gaskets. So once I get my block back and get it in here, I'm pretty much set up to start assembling. I just got to clean up a couple more things and I'll be ready. I also got a new camshaft, which is a Hamilton towing cam. It's like a 178-208 or something like that. So that should help me breathe a little bit. But I think this short little video is getting pretty long, but that's where I'm at. and I'll be making some videos here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks when I get my freaking walk back. Really? Ah. As I was saying, I'll be making a video here in the next few weeks, hopefully when my parts get back from the machine shop, actually assembling my new engine. In the meantime, I'm going to throw this one back in it and drive it just to get the new transmission and the new TCM working, make sure that they drive right, because once I put the new engine in it, I need to break it in, and I want to make sure that everything else is ready to go when I just go hot rodding for 100 miles. So that's where I'm at. And hopefully in the next month or so, I'll be driving my pickup again. Fingers crossed. Have a good one.